Govin, good morning to you. Talk to us about this land claim. How did it come about and how much did it cost?
So this land claim, Oli, was one of the first to be submitted. Remember that the process to submit land claims was reopened, and that's when the government decided to accept land claims after 1996 again. But this is one of the first which was processed, and it was lodged primarily by the Mahlangu and the Moloba families. But there are 9 other claimants as well, which will be getting some sort of financial compensation as well as access to land. And behind me, you'll see the memorial site that's been erected by the families as well as the 9 other claimants to honor their forefathers. And this is the spot where some of their family members were buried. And you might notice, Oli, that we're in the middle of a suburban area in northern Pretoria. And this area, as you can see, is well developed and has been for quite some time. But this is not the land that the families will be getting back. This is only the place where the Minister of Rural Development, Maite Mashabane, and the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, will be laying a wreath. And from here, we would move to the actual site of the land claim, which is closer to Mamelodi in the township, and that's where they'll be getting land. So it will be interesting to hear from the department exactly why they chose to give land in that area when they acknowledge that this area where we're standing currently is also a site of dispossession. So this is historic because the families involved are from all parts of Gauteng, from Ekurhuleni, from Tshwane, and from Johannesburg. And they'll be gathered here today as part of the first big land handover through Gauteng's presidential land handover program, which of course involves the president. We're not sure if this is one of many to follow, but what we do know is that this is one of the biggest claims that has been processed and finalized. The government spending 203 million rand on this claim.
So, Govin, talk to us about the removal of these families and 9 other groups. When did this removal actually happen? Was it in 1913?
It was indeed in 1913, preceding 1913, and in the years immediately thereafter. So these families were removed from their land prior to the beginning of apartheid, and really in the middle of South Africa moving into a union and towards the end of colonization. So this is actually one of the claims, one of the earliest claims which has been settled by the department so far. As we know, most of the other claims which have come in were submitted due to the removal through the Group Areas Act, which is, of course, apartheid legislation. But what we have here is one of the first and earliest claims dating back to people who lived on this land prior to any other settlers coming onto the area. And really, they've been able to prove that there was a thriving community in this area prior to people moving up to the north of Pretoria through the graves of their forefathers. And that's what President Cyril Ramaphosa and the minister are here to honor this morning. Only I do say that some of the family members and government officials are also arriving, so it seems as if there will be a somber mood this morning, and we expect the president to say a few words about how that dispossession actually happened and how they plan to make sure that the restitution is adequate, even though they're not able to give back the land on the spot where their forefathers are buried.
All right, thank you very much. That's our reporter, Govin Whittles, out in the north of Pretoria. It'll be very interesting indeed to hear from the families about the spot from which they were removed and where they are now going to have their land returned, which is somewhere far from where the actual removal took place. But that event, of course, to be presided over by the president himself.